Over the last 3 months on Perfect World post-production, we've built a nice solar punky but rundown sort of fishing village, some huge turbines, a giant farm, and even some cute bots. But now it's finally time to build a train line, or more precisely, a monorail line, because we're soon going to be heading to a new location where we're going to be making lots of the various building blocks and precious metals that we need. It's basically going to be a self-contained giant factory, and I've got a cool idea on what we're going to do for it, and where we're going to put it. But first, we need a way to get there, and that's where the monorail comes in. Now, I do have a vision in my head of how this monorail is going to look, not so much the train, more the actual line itself, but to make it a reality, I need diorite. Lots and lots of diorite. And that means we're in the catch-22 we were last episode, where I need one of the farms we're going to build in the new area before we get to the new area. So I guess we're building another temporary platform like last episode to make even more quartz that we can then convert into diorites. Although, to be honest, we might be able to just fit it on this platform anyway. It's not going to be a particularly big farm. It's just a bit more of the same, really. But we will make it an independent system from this one, I think. Let's go grab some things we're going to need and make ourselves a new farm. So let's start off with another cobble generator. And in fact, before we get started, I've been reliably informed from various sources that this doesn't actually make a difference anymore. So there's no point doubling up on these. Let's quickly get rid of all of this. So we can save ourselves some drills, which is nice. So let's just quickly get all of this built up. Should be nice and straightforward. And I'm not even bothering to do a diagram for this bit because this is essentially the same as what we did last episode. We're just going to get the quartz from all of this. So let's get some power over here. We can just steal it from there easily enough and bring that up to here. We need a vertical gearbox. We need a few shafts. One more that way, one that way, then a bunch of encased chain drives here, and the same on this side. Then a bunch of drills. We're going to turn off the power until we've got all of the lava and water in, but let's get the cobble down. And we need to shield the sides from the lava and the water. All right, I think we're ready to load it up and turn it on. We should be good to go. Wonderful, another cobble generator done. And we're going to do the same thing we did over there and feed it into a draw system, but we're going to make it an independent system. So let's just do this and get some power. That's going the wrong way. There we go. Right, we're going to give this its own storage system down here. So let's do that. We'll stick a drawer underneath. Give it a couple of upgrades. Right, so that's our cobble. Now we need to do the crushing wheel setup again, because we need to crush all that cobble down into gravel, then we need to crush it all into sand. And thinking about it, we might not have enough space here for all of that. So I think what I might actually do is do the crushing down here, and then up here I'll just put in more washers and cookers and all that sort of thing. Actually, I've got an idea. Let me try something out. So if we were to do something like this, then we'll have the crushing wheels there and there. In fact, let's just chuck those on. What I could do to save space is actually stack them. Then we'd just put in more shafts here. And then when it came to adding more crushing wheels, I can just do this. Then we just need a bit of power. There we go. And then if we just put cobble filters on these bits here and the bottom ones, then all we need to do is link up this, this, and this. And we should start getting gravel. I can see the particles. It looks like it's working. Yep, there we go. Gravel coming in. And now I need to turn that gravel into sand. And to keep things simple, I think what I'll do is just bring this stack up further and just repeat the same process because it seems to work fine. And as I say, we don't really care too much about how it looks. This is only a temporary farm after all. So we just need to get all of this powered, put gravel in the filters, and then get the last of the crushing wheels in. But I don't have enough. Right, let's go make some more. There we go. Now, if I replace these bits of cobble here with spruce trim, they should all connect up, and we should start getting sand. There we go. Sand acquired. Now, what we need to do is haunt the sand like we're doing here, and then we need to wash it like we're doing here. But I need to keep the systems separate, so we've got to leave a gap between them both. So I think what we're going to do is go with 2 haunters, and then 2 washers. Then we need deny list filters, so yep, deny sand on this one and this one, and deny soul sand on this one and this one. Then we need fans, power, fancy make you look nice. Then we just need power and power. And then we need some soul campfires, which I didn't bring with me, as well as some leaves to hold the water. And that should get us all the way to quartz. So first up, we want the haunters, then we want the washers. Now we just need to link this up to here and this one to here. So this is now everything we're producing upstairs. I'm just sending the flint into the void because we really don't care about flint. We've got our gravel, cobble and sand up here. That's getting turned into quartz and of course soul sand. But we're also producing gold and clay balls, which we don't really need over here. So what we're going to do is take these out, get a couple of drawer controllers and connect them directly into this system. And these drawers can just empty out immediately and go over there where they'll actually get used for stuff. Right, so now we have a whole lot more quartz coming in. What we need to do is craft it into diorite, which does mean we're going to have to use crafting grid because there's not a way to do it with the materials we've got, or auto crafters I should say, and I guess we are going to have to do that down here. There's really not space up here anymore. Guess I could squeeze them in along the back here maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's really going to fit down there, but I reckon we can do it along this strip. But yeah, we're definitely going to need lots of auto crafters for this, or mechanical crafters I should say. I mean, I could use the vanilla crafter, but because it's actually a set recipe as opposed to a random layout, that could just be more hassle than it's worth. So let's make a bunch of crafting tables and then make a whole bunch of mechanical crafters. That's probably too many, but that's fine. It's fine. Now, I think I've got an idea of how we could do this. So if we start with a row of 4 belts, we'll have these two sticking out a little bit further. Have drawer controllers with brass funnels. But before we go any further, let's get our mechanical crafters in. So we want to do that. So they point down, then into that one, into that one, into that one. And we're just going to get a little row of these going. That will probably be enough. So let's shorten these two. Put a blocker on the end. And I need some andesite funnels here. Then we're going to have funnels going into the side of all these crafters. And the same over here. Then we're going to put filters here. So we want this one to be quartz. This one to be cobble. How many of these have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we set this to let out 9 at a time. Same over there for the cobble. What we now need to do is feed into the top bits here. And I think what I might actually do for this is quickly go grab some hoppers. Oh, we're going to need more than that. So let's make some... Oh, we need iron as well. Oh, geez. Do we have any iron up here? I hope so. I've not had this area loaded much, though, so it might be a bit low. 59. Oof, that is not a lot. Well, we can make another 9, but if we make some more chests, then we should be able to squeeze out a couple more. 3 more. So what I was thinking is we could actually feed these ones in via hoppers and have the belts going across the top. However, there is a bit of a problem with that, in that these hoppers are actually going to end up holding 5 stacks of items, and I don't really think I want to do that. So that means what I actually need to do is use these funnels like this, and then put the belts on top there and there. But, as you can see, that's a bit of a problem. However, I could lower this whole thing a block, and then we'd be okay. So I guess that's what we're doing. Although this is only 4 blocks wide. Could I fit it up here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it'd be tight, but I probably could. Yeah, let's give that a go. Now, let's just quickly rebuild what we had down the bottom. Right, so we're back to where we were on the lower level. We've got everything set up. There's actually 10 of them now. So we're releasing 10 quartz on that side, 10 cobble on that side, and they will go into the bottom 2 slots. Once everything's complete, of course, it's going to drop onto the belts down below. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is just alternate what belts these drop onto. So I'm going to redo this bottom row. So we'll have it so they alternate. That belt, and then this belt, then that belt, and so on. Just to make sure we don't get any clogging going on from things trying to get out of the crafters. And now on top, we can just put down more of these funnels. Belts over the top, a couple of stopper blocks at the end, funnels here, once again set to 10, but what we need to do this time is put quartz on the left and cobble on the right. And we just need a bunch of power up here, so let's get all of those with cogs, get some chain drives in, and a gearbox. Now all our mechanical crafters are going. I think we're good just to link this up to storage. I think we're all set up now. Oh, wait a minute. We need power up here. So I think what I'm going to do is extend this belt by 1 and just put some more chain drives in there. Oh, no, they're going the wrong way. Well, in that case, how about some gearbox spaghetti? There we go. Right, let's hook this up to the storage system and hope it works. It needs to link to this one here. So we can go like that, connect those two together, and then bring this one all the way across. And that's not grabbing the stuff from the belts. Do I need to remove that? maybe I just need to replace these funnels with chutes. So let me just disconnect this side briefly. And we can maybe do smart chutes that are set to only take one. Should probably test this at the front, really, so I can see if it's actually working. Because that'll stop these from getting backed up. And yep, this one at the front here is actually now making diorite. Okay, so that works. Let's just repeat that all the way down. Then we can reconnect that. There we go. That should start working. However, we need more cobble. We're not generating enough cobble here to keep up. We don't have any excess cobble over here either. So with that in mind, let's make a third cobble generator, and I'm just going to stick it straight on top of this one. But you certainly don't need to see me do this for a third time, so I'll see you in just a moment. There we go. A second cobble generator is now in. If we have a little look down here, we are still not getting a backup of cobble, but we are making diorite extremely quickly. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that setup. And now we've got loads of diorite, we can start thinking about our monorail. What I still need, however, is some actual monorail train track, which means I need to make lots of metal brackets by the looks of it. Okay. Metal brackets and iron sheets. Well, that's a problem. We really don't have very much iron right now, and it's not like we've got any backup gravel over here. I don't want to have to make an iron farm as well. I mean, I do have a little bit of gravel I can chuck in there to speed things up a bit, but I'd rather not build another iron farm right now. So what I'm actually going to do is just leave this running for a little while, and I'm going to go make myself some lunch. Although I have just come to check my storage. We do have 14 blocks of iron there. We've got 313 sheets there, and we've got some raw iron too. So we're not completely out. That doesn't change the fact that it's lunchtime and I'm hungry, so I'm still going to go do that. Well, I've had my lunch, and we've only got 28 iron ingots in there, which is absolutely awful. We need a lot more than that, which I guess means we probably should make an iron farm, which also means that platform needs to be bigger. But first, let's just see what we can actually make out of what we've got. I mean, we do make quite a lot of brackets. Who knows? We might already have a bunch. We do. Ooh, more than I expected. And girders, that's definitely not a problem. Never is. So let's go see how much monorail we can get with what we've already got. So I need to remove all the iron nuggets from this thing, give it some iron sheets instead. And I'm gonna need another deployer. Stick that in there. Get rid of that saw. Extend that. Put a shaft in there. Then we need to remove all the iron nuggets from here. Give him brackets. Now if we chuck girders in there, we should. Yeah, look at that. We're getting loads of monorail. So let's just load all the iron sheets we have into there. All the brackets we have into there, and see how we get on. In the meantime, let's go cook up the rest of this iron, and we'll make some more iron sheets as well. So we'll chuck all these extra brackets in there, and then I'm going to go and flatten the rest of this iron, and that should give us plenty of monorail to work with. At least for now. We're definitely going to need a better iron farm, though. Well, I'd say we're getting quite a lot so far, but it looks like we're actually getting 6 pieces at a time, which I didn't factor in, so that's good. We're going to have 6 times as much as I was guessing. Our track making is done. We've got about 2,500 monorail. That is a whole lot more than I was expecting. Now, something else we're going to need a lot of is zinc, which once again is something that we are not currently producing. Of course we're not. And it's another thing I want to put in the new place we're moving to. So we have a lack of iron, we have a lack of zinc, and I have a lack of want to build more farms right now. So I think we all know what that means. Stop everything. Look at this. Oh my days. It's an actual 8 vein of the rare diamond ore. I don't think I've seen something like that in years. Anyway, back to the montage. Right, we've got a good few hundred of each just on our person, and I have no idea what's in the drill. That should be enough to get us started. So, having a look around my area, I think what I want to do with this monorail is actually have a monorail station here, pretty much where the iron farm is, which probably means skimming off a few layers of dirt here, just to carve out an area where we'll be able to put the station, and then we'll run the track through this way here, and then we're going to head off in that kind of a direction. But that also means that this end will be open, so we can link up to other areas as we need to. Which does mean we're going to have to destroy and remove all of this at some point as well, but for now I think I'm just going to carve out the landscape a little bit and then start working out the monorail track itself. And I could use my drill to do this, but to be honest I find it quite relaxing just doing a bit of digging sometimes, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. There we go, just as the sun's going down, we've got a nice carved out hillside. We will, of course, tidy all this up and make it all look good at a later date. For now, I just want space to build my monorail. So I guess the first thing to do is to actually work out where the monorail is going to go. And I want it to be a good few blocks off the floor. It's going to be elevated as it goes around the map. So I think it makes sense to start it elevated here. And I think we're going to want 2 rails. So let's raise it up a couple of blocks. And, it's too far away. I need to change one of the configs. So if we go server config and then trains, max track placement length. We always want that to 128 because then we can get much smoother curves. So let's confirm that change. And there we go. Now we can place that one on there. Just do the same there. And I think what I'm going to do is just design this section of track here, and then we're going to carry that on probably sort of over there around the corner somewhere. And it's going to dip down a bit as it goes towards the sea, and then we're literally just going to be going out in that direction. So it's going to be fairly diagonal, I guess. In fact, what I'm going to do is quickly fly over to where we're heading, which is over across the ocean in this direction. I'm wondering whether we might actually be better off sort of skirting the land around that way and then cutting in. And the spot we're going to be building this mega factory is right about here, or more precisely, over there. So if we have a look on our map, this is where we need to get to. This is where we currently are. So I think maybe we do come down here, go in a diagonal for a bit, and then we'll straighten up and just go direct. So we want to swoop out this way, go at a diagonal, and then we'll go straight. And what Y level is this? 86. So let's chop down a few of these trees and just get this track laid out. So we'll get this first big curve in there, second one in there, and we'll slope down a bit towards the coast, and then figure out how high above the ocean we want to be. And I'm thinking probably something about that. We want space for ships to be able to get underneath after all. Not that I know if we're going to have any ships or not, but it's best to plan ahead. And then what I might actually be able to do is connect from there all the way up to here, so it's just one lovely gradual slope. Hopefully it's not too far away. No, we're good. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. And look at that, wonderful. We've got some more trees to remove. Well, that looks like a pretty smooth track. I like that. And the rest of the track's going to be fairly easy. As I say, it's just going at a diagonal and then curving in and going straight. So let's get to work designing what the actual raised track is going to look like. And by that I mean in terms of support beams and that kind of thing. And this is where the diorite is going to come in, but I also need a mason's table. So we're going to be using a bunch of different diorite variants. In fact, what I'm going to do is make myself a new mason's table. Let's just grab some iron. So let's get one of those, and I'm going to need an extra bit of iron. So what I can do is do that and turn it into a chisel. And now if I right click and grab some diorite first, that might be helpful, but if I right click, I can put the diorite in, I can get the blocks I need, and I don't have to worry about setting up a table or taking up one of my backpack slots, which it turns out I do actually have a spare one, so I could have just done that, but it's fine, I've got a chisel now. So let's figure this out. I want to start with maybe simple diorite pillars. I like the texture on the top of that. That could work. Maybe some vertical cut diorite. Let's get a bunch of that as well. And some stacked diorites. And yeah, we will get some of the diorite pillar. We'll see how that looks. So do we go that way or do we go that way? I think I prefer that way, at least for now. Let's give this a little go. Oh, health and safety's arrived. Let's have a quick munch. And then let's go deal with those. Your visit is not appreciated. Get out of it. Now, as I was trying to say, I probably want to have this going under all of the rail here. And we're just going to build a small section, see how it looks, and then work it out from there, I think. So maybe something like that, and then some stacked ones, potentially. And I do like the idea of having some greenery up here, so I wonder, would we be able to get away with, like, some grass in the middle? Maybe some grass off to the side here. Oh, hello. All your mates have already gone. And I think on the side here, maybe some stairs or something, which means I'm going to need zinc. This is where I could need a whole lot of zinc. So let's grab loads of the stuff we mined up earlier, go get all of this cut, and then at least we're prepared. So I want to try a couple of approaches here. How does it look if we just use normal diorite stairs? And then how does it look if we use the stacked blocks same as below? I mean, to be honest, I think I actually prefer the diorite stairs, which is also great news because it means I don't need to make loads of zinc copycat things, for which I probably wouldn't have enough zinc. So let's do this. Okay, not bad. But we need some kind of barrier or something up here as well. And I wonder, there's some railings we can get really cheaply because we can basically turn 1 stack of iron ingots into 2 stacks of industrial iron, which we can then turn into 18 stacks of industrial iron ingots. If we then put them in here, we can get industrial iron bars. We can get 4 stacks of these per stack. So yeah, these things are dirt cheap. Let's maybe get some copycat walls as well. So let's put down a wall and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those. Just an arbitrary number there, really. So that's what the edge of it would look like. But if you imagine that, but it goes out on some pillars out over the land, we'll probably mix up some of these blocks as well, just so it's a little bit weathered. We could even have like some sections where there's just leaves dangling down. I think that would look quite cool. Not so much on this bit because it's so close to the ground, but elsewhere, I'm liking that. The top bit here does need some work though. So let's try copycat boards and maybe some grass down here as well. Is that going to be too much? Do a bit with dirt as well, see how that looks. I mean, it's pretty good, but I think I prefer the dirt. Maybe just with the occasional bit of grass here and there. Yeah, I like that. We'll get some bone meal up here, get some grassy bits and so on. I think that could actually look really good. The question is, can I build a train that will build this for me? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Only one way to find out. Let's go grab some train parts. Right, I think I've got everything we need. Let's see how we can get on. So we'll create a new train here, get a bogie, and now we need to figure out exactly how we're going to build this thing. I think the first thing we're going to need is a row of deployers here. I don't think we're going to be able to do the stairs with the deployers because they're going to place them down at the wrong angle. Can't do the copycat boards with the blocks in, but we can do just the boards on their own. So I guess we might as well. So we can get that bit in, the grass, the boards. Put that one around the right way, get the grass in there. And I do need to strip this back another couple of blocks just so we've got space for this whole thing. In fact, I think what I might do is just build sort of half a machine here and then run it that way and then turn it around and run it back. That way I can make sure I get all the corners right, I think, maybe, potentially. So if we set some filters, we want pillars on these 4. Then we want the stacked blocks there. We want grass block on top there and there. Copycat boards there and there. And then we're going to run along and do the walls and the fences ourselves because they're going to alternate. Now we're also going to need a seat. We're going to need train controls. And we're going to need storage. And for storage, we're going to use this netherite backpack, which apparently already has some stuff in it. Wonderful. But let's give it some better stack upgrades than just that one. We did cook up a bunch of iron, so let's make some more iron blocks. We're going to make some upgrade bases. Grab some gold blocks as well. Get 2 more iron upgrades. Then we're going to convert all 3 of those into gold stack upgrades. And that's going to give us lots more space in there. So let's get those in. And we just need to load it up with stuff. So let's chuck in the copycat boards and loads of grass. Then with the diorite, we're going to want lots and lots of pillars. A bunch of the stacked bricks as well, but mostly pillars. And I've just had a thought. If I was to put a deployer here, filtered for dirt, it would actually place the dirt in the copycat panel, right? I think that might actually work. So let's chuck loads of dirt in there as well. We just need some super glue and then we'll try this thing out. So we'll glue that to that. We'll glue these together, glue that together, and that should be a train. It is indeed a train and it's placed some blocks. This is mostly good. We don't want that one there and we don't want that one there. Let's just run backwards. Now we'll run forwards and see what happens. So good news and bad news on the copycat boards. You can put blocks into copycat boards with deployers, but the boards are placing at the wrong angle. So I guess we'll do that bit by hand afterwards, which is fine. It won't take too long. Let's just pull this into the station and remove these 2 and these 2. So I've reassembled the train. Let's just pull back, clean that up again. Now we should be good just to create our little bridgey type thing here. Just get a good speed. Yeah, this is working a treat. And it handles the corners nicely. Yeah, this is great. We'll have this built in no time. Although, I am going to need to remove some more of these trees that are in the way here. There we go. Now we can build out at least to the end of this bit. We can turn the train around, do the same thing all the way back. It's getting a bit dark. I should probably sleep, but it's definitely... How's it looking? Okay. Looks a bit weird, but that's probably because we haven't got the stairs on the side yet. And the barriers and all that jazz as well. So let's quickly get that done. I need more diorite, but I don't think this thing's been loaded. So yeah, we might have to stand here for a while before I can go any further. No, we have 46,000 of it. I guess it has been loaded. Excellent. Health and safety's back for a third visit, just as we're about to finish what we're currently doing. Get out of it. But I've very nearly got this final fence in. Alrighty, we're getting there. It just needs all the nicifying bits now, doesn't it? So I'm going to grab myself some coarse dirt, some leaves, some bone meal, and all those sorts of things, and make the central rail area here look nice. And then once that's done, we'll work on some pillars. So let's grab leaves of various types. Bone meal, I think we're going to be needing more of that. We'll take some tall, dry grass, maybe a few ferns. Bit of grass here so we can actually place on some coarse dirt, and we'll take some of that as well. Maybe even a bit of rooted dirt, why not? And a bit of moss, we can do some mossy bits here and there. And we'll take loads of the copycat layers as well, because they'll be good for the leaves, as well as dangly bits. All right, let's get to work messing this up a little bit. We're going to get some grass on the bottom area here. We're going to get some coarse dirt on the top areas. And let's just put down a few sort of grassy bits. A little bit of bone meal, but I don't think we want tall grass. The occasional mossy bit might be quite nice as well. Some little bushes with the copycat bites. Let's just get this train out of the way. Then have a nap so we can actually see what's going on. And I'm thinking maybe no big bushes in the middle. They don't look right. Made it look a little bit too overgrown. I think the rest of that is looking okay. Right, so let's sort out the rest of this stretch to some funky 80s music. Well, I think we're there for the top part of this, at least. I'm not 100% sold on it. I have actually removed a lot of the grass. It was looking a little bit too overgrown, and we didn't really want that, so I've just got the occasional bit here and there now. Tell you what, I haven't put down any dead bushes on this bit, so let's just get the occasional one or two in. There we go, that's better. So as a proof of concept, I think this is coming along quite nicely, but what I need to do now is add support beams and support pillars and things like that, and this tree is kind of in the way. I think I want to put my first support pillar here. I'm not going to worry so much about the bit up the top there at the moment, because we are going to be building a station, so that area over there is probably going to change quite a lot anyway, but I definitely need to get something in over here. Just going to patch a few of these awkward holes first, because that's going to make things quite difficult otherwise. That's better, a bit easier to work with. Now, what are we going to do for this? I'm thinking we probably want some support girders in the middle, maybe surrounded with some pillars and other bits and bobs, some vertical cut diorite maybe. We'll also grab some walls, some stairs, maybe even some copycat layers. Let's see what we can come up with. So let's start with some beams. I think I only want a little bit of this beam visible, so we're going to sort of wrap some stuff around it, I think. Starting with some additional supports at the top here. So maybe something like this. How about a stair and a couple of copycat panels? Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. On this side, maybe get the pillars back in again. Put them in vertical like that. Okay, I quite like that, but I feel like this side here should maybe stick out just a little bit more. Looks a bit much now. How about just a couple of panels at the top there? Let's leave it like that for now. We'll just work out everything else, and then we'll see how we're looking once the sides actually match. All right, actually, I quite like that. Now we've got both in. That's looking pretty good. The question is, how do we make something like that work on an angle? So let's pick a new spot and see what we can work out. And the problem is that design is not symmetrical on all four sides. So do we put the walls here and here, or do we do them both on the outside like this? I don't really know, so let's just see how it looks. I'll tell you what, I think that actually works quite well. I like that. These diagonal beams are not too bad. And let's get another one in, probably around about here somewhere. Just pick a spot here and see what trees need to be removed. This one definitely being one of them. So to get another pillar up, now we've decided what bits we're using. I think we'll grab a bit more zinc, make ourselves some more walls, but we should have plenty of layers. I made loads of those before we left. We've got plenty of stairs, and we've got plenty of the various types of diorite we're going to need. So let's quickly get another one in here. We'll get our first ocean one in pretty much where those grass blocks are, and we should be starting to look pretty good. And a short while later, I think we're there with the first few pillars, and I'll tell you what, that does tie it together nicely. I like that a lot. Imagine that with the trains going past as well, it's going to look awesome. But we've got a whole lot more bridge to build. We need to actually design the monorail trains, and of course, we still need a station. But we're going to have to save that kind of thing for next episode, because sadly we're out of time here today, but I'm pleased with how far we've actually got. The vision is out of my head and starting to take shape. And if you've got any suggestions for how we can improve it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.